Let's see. All right, so I'm making some crispy tofu. It's gonna be real quick. Just kind of testing this out. Sorry, my face is a little shiny. All right. All right, y'all, so we're just gonna do this right on the stove. I'm gonna set the oven. We're gonna do 425. It's my magic number. I actually do 450 sometimes, but it's because I don't have a convection oven. But yeah, we're just gonna do everything right here. I got some Kirkland tofu. This is extra firm tofu. This is probably my favorite tofu to use, mainly because you can buy it at Costco. It's like $5.50 or something like that for 4 of these. So it's like $1.12.50. $1.12.5. Yeah, sorry. Super inexpensive, but it's organic and it's awesome. I froze this and then I let it thaw. If you freeze it and let it thaw, it puts these awesome holes in it, as we're gonna see. All right, got my trusty knife. I'm just gonna wash it real quick. All right, so this is my new favorite knife. It's Dull Strong is the company. Got it for my birthday from my bro Nestor. And we're just gonna take this here, drain our tofu. I think I'll take y'all with me to the sink while we drain this. All right. So yeah, so we're just gonna open this package and then drain it. We can't really do that. All right, let me see. Okay, cool. All right, y'all, so we got this tofu, we're draining it. Oh, spilling right there. Again, I got this tofu, Kirkland brand. Really inexpensive, but it's still organic. And then I've got my handy dandy tofu press right here. So we are gonna press this tofu. So I'm gonna put y'all back on here. What's up, y'all? We're making some crispy tofu today. All right. So I got my handy dandy tofu press. And then I got my tofu. All right, so we'll get that in here. If you cook tofu often, a tofu press is super handy, like I just said. But, and you can get these for like 20 bucks, but they really work really well. And again, I froze this tofu and let it thaw. When you freeze it, it changes the texture quite a bit and really makes the tofu better. We are gonna bake this. Stop y'all shaking. All right. So we got our tofu in there. We're just gonna twist this, press the water out. You can see it really gets a lot of water out. We're just gonna let this sit for a second and we'll drain this. We'll just drain this right in here. Oh. Well, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I haven't been live in a while, so I'm pretty stoked to be here. But yeah, pressing your tofu makes a big difference. It really gets a lot of liquid out. And if you're trying to get it crispy, you really want to get as much liquid out as possible. Once you've got the liquid out, you can put some like a marinade in it. I'm gonna use some coconut aminos to get some nice flavor in there. And we're just gonna let this sit for like a minute while it's being pressed. Again, if you freeze it, it puts all these little holes in it and then changes the texture. So when you go to bake it, it gets crispier. And it really works very well. So just gonna drain a little bit more water out of here. That's pretty good. But yeah, how y'all been? I been kind of laying low. I got a new job and work as a private chef now, so haven't really been going live as much, but I hope y'all are doing good. What's up, Guadalupe? Hope you're doing good. I'm gonna grab a bowl. To put our tofu in. And you might not believe this, but I think I'm actually out of coriander, which is my favorite spice. I need to order some more, and I'm actually a little bit embarrassed because I love coriander and I think it's the best. So I'm just like, oh, what am I gonna use instead of coriander? All right, let me grab some coconut aminos. Ooh, looks like I got a tiny bit of soy sauce left. So I got this gluten-free soy sauce and some coconut aminos. Y'all will notice this is soy tofu. I know I normally do pumfu, but I actually can eat soy just fine now. So I get this tofu at Costco. It's like $1.12 for one of these blocks. You get a box of 4 of them, and I just put the whole box in the freezer. And then I just take one out at a time and thaw it. But yeah, once it's pressed, I actually like to take some soy sauce, and we're gonna do some coconut aminos as well. I might use a little miso paste just to get some extra flavor in there. And then once you've pressed it, if you pour like a little marinade, some soy sauce on there, it'll soak in there nicely. And then you can get flavor all the way through it. And another little trick is once you put the marinade on there, I like to pour it on the top. We're gonna do that with some coconut aminos as well. And then I like to press it again. It'll basically press the marinade so it gets all the way through. Just gonna stick that on there. There we go. All right. So as you can kind of see, it presses the marinade and basically allows it to just penetrate all the way through, and then presses out any extra liquid because we're going to be baking this, so we want it to get super crispy. The more liquid in there, the longer you're going to have to bake it. So it's pretty nice to just have a tofu press and just be able to press it. And then you can just take your tofu box and drain it. All right. So here we've got our tofu, and then the marinade has already kind of penetrated. We're gonna put a little bit more on the other side and do the same thing. And this is just a great way to get a ton of flavor all the way through it. Use the rest of our soy sauce. Do a little bit of coconut aminos. I like to use both. Coconut aminos is less salty and then a little bit more sweet. So I like to use coconut aminos in addition to soy sauce because it'll get some of that sweetness in there without having to add any sugar. So we'll pull a little on there. What's the thing inside of the blue thing? Oh, this is tofu. So we're making some crispy tofu. Toss that again. All right. So now we got our marinade all the way through. All right, and there we go. So now our tofu is marinated. If you don't freeze it and then you try to do this, the marinade is just gonna stay on the outside. When you freeze it, it puts all these little holes in there, so it's super nice. If you're trying to get the flavor to penetrate all the way through the tofu, freezing it makes it a lot easier. All right. And then I'm just gonna keep this super simple. I'm gonna just do it in sheets. We're gonna cut this into thirds. So we'll just do this. Ooh, looks like it's still a little bit frozen. But you can see all those nice little holes in there. That is from freezing. Looks like there's a little bit of ice in there, but the marinade penetrated all the way through because we froze it and it's got all those little holes. And then we'll cut this into thirds. And you know what? I think I am gonna cut this into cubes because I'm gonna make some pho or some faux pho, just a quick like rice noodle soup. And so since we got this in sheets, we're gonna cut this into strips. And I just got this knife, but man, I love this knife. It is super sharp and just cuts super well. So this is from Doll Strong, but yeah, it's a really cool knife. All right, so we got sheets. We're gonna cut the sheets into strips. And then we'll turn it, we'll cut these strips into cubes. And I think I might just throw some togarashi on this. I always use onion powder, garlic powder, coriander, thyme. I'm out of coriander. I think I'm out of coriander. This is my coriander grinder. And it looks like I got a tiny bit left in here. And I'm kind of joking, that's not really my coriander grinder, but I use it like 95% of the time to grind coriander because I just buy like a pound of coriander seeds at a time. And coriander is by far the spice I use the most, with maybe a close second being onion powder, and then thyme and garlic powder right behind there. But I really love coriander. In my opinion, it's just a really great background savory flavor, kind of like onion powder or garlic powder. Coriander and thyme are like my two other savory spices that I use the most often. All right, this knife is very sharp, so you gotta pay attention, make sure I don't cut myself. All right, and we're just gonna throw these in here. And we're gonna season these. I'm gonna put these on a baking sheet and just bake them. We got the oven preheating to 425, which is kind of my magic number. I actually grew up in the 445 area code, so also a little nostalgic for me, but it's mostly just a coincidence. So I got this togarashi, I really like this. So it's got chili pepper, sesame seed, red pepper, orange peel, poppy seed, parsley, white pepper, and ginger. And then I've got some pepper in here. It's called prickly ash. It's very similar to Szechuan pepper. It makes your tongue numb, but it has a really nice flavor. Very similar to black pepper, but also gives you kind of that numbing effect. Super cool. So I'm gonna take some togarashi. We don't really need this top. It's kind of a joke. We'll take this off here. And we're just gonna sprinkle some of this. And give it a nice toss. gonna add some coriander. Sprinkle that in there. Oh, I spilled some. I'm definitely gonna use that. I really love coriander, if you haven't figured it out by now. Oops. Let me grab some onion powder. All right, onion powder is just a great way to get a nice savory flavor in there. All right, and then we'll do some garlic powder as well. I got another coriander in here, but you see I used it all. I really do use a lot of coriander. Nope. All right, you see that? Super well seasoned. I really like to season my tofu super heavily. Get a lot of flavor in there. And then we're gonna use some of this prickly ash. It's basically like Szechuan pepper. It kind of has like a black pepper flavor, but it makes your tongue numb, which is pretty cool. That's kind of just like an added benefit because I think it tastes better than black pepper, but it's just like a cool flavor, cool sensation. You can get it at most Asian grocery stores, but yeah, it's called prickly ash. I think I've got the container here. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, dried green prickly ash. You can see they're kind of like peppercorns, but yeah, they look a lot like Szechuan peppercorns. But it's really nice flavor. And then if you've never had Szechuan peppercorns or this stuff, it literally like makes your tongue a little bit numb, which is kind of cool. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of salt. I have a few different types of salt. I usually use just kosher salt, which is what this is. But I also like Celtic sea salt. It's probably my other favorite one. And then I've got some Malden salt that I use for finishing. But that's it. We got our tofu cubed, heavily seasoned. There is some soy sauce in here, so you don't need to go heavy on the salt if you got soy sauce, because soy sauce is pretty salty. And then I've got this handy dandy oil sprayer, really useful for coating stuff in oil. And it kind of sprays. You can also just drizzle a little bit like that, but I find it coats it better and kind of more evenly if you just spray it. All right, and there we go. That's all we're gonna do. That's all she wrote. And then now we got some parchment paper. Just gonna put that down on our baking sheet. There we go. All right, so if your pan is super crowded, like if you are gonna need all of the space, I highly recommend just going through and kind of organizing your tofu. It seems like it's gonna take forever, but it doesn't take that long. Since I'm not really filling up the whole sheet, I'm just gonna do it pretty quickly. And then we're just gonna stick this in the oven. If you want to add some spice to this, you can add a little cayenne pepper. Or if you want a little smoky spice, you can add some chipotle. If you want a little more Asian spice flavor, you can do some Korean red chili flakes. But I think the togarashi is plenty of that flavor on here. All right, and with the tofu, you just want to make sure the pieces aren't touching too much. Otherwise, they're not really going to get crispy. They're just going to kind of steam. Or you'll get some that are partly crispy and some that are a little bit steamed. So just want to make sure they're not touching too much. If you get some like clumps where there's a bunch of pieces together, you can just grab one or two of them and separate them. But there we go. This is ready for the oven. And that's how you make some crispy tofu. So we're gonna bake this. It's probably gonna be about 35 minutes. I'm gonna check it after like 20 or 25 and just check the bottom. I'm gonna put this on the top rack just so that hopefully the bottom doesn't get too crispy. If you are gonna go through and flip them all, you can put it on the bottom rack, but if you put it on the bottom rack, the bottom is gonna get darkened really quickly and can burn if you're not gonna flip them. I'm hoping I'm not gonna have to flip these, so I'm just gonna stick it on the top rack. And in about 35 minutes, I'll have some crispy tofu. I'm gonna put this in just a noodle soup, just a little quick pho. I like to call it a faux pho. And because I made some mushroom broth just a little bit earlier. But that's it. That's what you're looking for. It's a little togarashi spiced crispy tofu. All right, there we go. Yo, what's up, Birdie? But yeah, that's it. So thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment and I'll get back to you. What's up? So Hale, what's going on? I'm good. Making some crispy tofu. Yeah, I already got it in the oven. Show you real quick. But yeah, I did a little togarashi spiced crispy tofu. Just got back from the gym, so I need a little protein. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me. I'll see y'all on the next one. Hope y'all are doing good. Yeah, peace.